What is going on, everyone? My name is Connor, your co host with the most of Clutch Crew Sports, back here with another episode of the LockBoard. I've got Zach and Eric with me, so we got everyone here for this LockBoard. There's going to be no revealing the picks on the sheets as to what someone put in. So if someone gets sniped, we're going to get to see their reaction in real time. So how you guys doing today?
Doing all right, man. I know we're gonna talk about our picks in a little bit. Those sucked, but looking forward to hopefully having a better week this week. Zach, what about you, man?
Yeah, same. Definitely, like Eric said, we'll get to our picks here in a second, but yeah, hoping for some better success on the LockBoard.
Yeah, so I think I am pretty comfortable in saying that this has been the worst week in the history of the Clutch Crew Sports Lockboard. I didn't go back and check this, but I think I'm correct in saying this because we were this close to all of us getting zero. That's how bad it was. But Zach got the only points of the week with 2. So he's at 35 points, still in the lead. Eric and myself both with zeros. Eric is still in second with 31 points, 4 points behind first place, and I still have 22, 13 points behind first place. So terrible week. As you guys can see here, I'll go over the picks. My picks first, since I had the first pick. So I had a couple. I need to stop doing this where like I take 2 picks from the same city because I did the 2 Detroit picks. The previous week that didn't work out. And this time I did the 2 New Jersey NFL teams, and they both didn't work out. The Giants got pretty thoroughly beat by the Seahawks, and the Jets also pretty thoroughly got beat by the Patriots. So that was unfortunate. The Lakers, unfortunately, they had to wait till their next game to get their first win of the season. It couldn't be this one against Minnesota. So they lost that one. And then, oh, man, the toughest one for me, though, was this Carolina over Atlanta. I was watching that game, and I thought it was over when Atlanta got that touchdown at the end. And then Carolina had the miraculous 50-something yard touchdown to DJ Moore, and all they needed was the extra point to win the game. And DJ Moore commits the boneheaded move of taking off his helmet and getting a 15-yard penalty. So now the extra point, instead of being 33 yards, is 48 yards. And the kicker shanks it. They go to overtime. Carolina stops Atlanta. They get an interception on Atlanta, actually, on the first possession. They return it all the way back to like the 20-yard line, and they have a chance to win the game on a 33-yard field goal. So, much easier. And the kicker shanks it again, and then Atlanta goes down and gets the game field goal. So, Carolina, you suck. I hate you for that one. But, Eric, tell us about your picks and what went wrong there.
Yeah, well, my first pick, I was really excited to get it, was Nebraska over Illinois. I thought Nebraska would have a chance at home to steal that one. And then I also ended up sniping Zach to get that pick, so I was pretty excited about it. But they were in the game for a while, but then their quarterback got hurt, and that was pretty much the end of that game. I took the Jazz over the Nuggets in basketball for a 5-pointer, but the Jazz were not able to continue their success, so they lost. Also in the NBA, I took the Houston Rockets over the Damian Lillard-less Portland Trailblazers. I know Zach kind of roasted me on Twitter for that pick, but you can't blame me, man. With no Dame, like, they fell apart in their game where he got hurt. So I was like, maybe Houston. I know Houston's not good, but I was like, maybe they can steal this. But then my worst pick, like, I don't even understand how this happened. The number 9th ranked team in the country, Oklahoma State. Now, Kansas State, who they lost to, is a good team, but they lost to Kansas State 48-0. I'm like, like, they were only favored to lose by like 2 points, and they lose by 48. Like, I know they were on the road, but like, how do you lose by 48? Don't even get a point. And like Connor talked about, with this possibly being the worst week in our LockBoard history, like, I wasn't going to go back through all the LockBoard episodes to see, but I'm pretty sure this 48-0 loss is probably the worst loss in any of our LockBoard picks history. So, like Connor said, Carolina sucks. No, Oklahoma State, you suck for that pick. Like, you gave Connor 3 points the week before, and then you gave me a dud, like literally a 0. Like, not only did I get 0 points on the LockBoard, y'all got 0. Like, you suck. Trash.
Well, my favorite thing about that too is the fact that, like, Kansas State after that. They're at home this week, and they're still underdogs. Like, how are you underdogs after beating the number 9 team 48-0 at home? Like, when you're at home, that doesn't make
Vegas knows something that we don't. I don't know. I guess
I guess, but Zach, you got the only points this week, so tell us what happened with your picks. Thankfully, thankfully the one that I roasted you over, you got 0 on. So
yeah, I know you.
Oh yeah, that would have been bad.
You're happy about that one. I would have liked to get those other pointers, but was happy with my first round. The only green saving us from a 12 red week. Combined, we went 1 and 11 in our picks, but I got the Commanders beating the Colts correct. Anytime the Colts are favored to win a game should be sus. That's
yeah.
Anytime you're picking a team to beat the Colts, you got pretty good odds. So Washington, they won that. That was kind of an ugly looking game though. A lot of the games in the NFL were low scoring, ugly games, I felt like last week, but Washington got that win. I watched Cincinnati over against UCF. UCF won that game. Really good game to watch, but it came down to who had the ball last at the end. UCF managed to get a final possession touchdown with not much time left, and they won that game by a couple points. Pittsburgh over UNC got that one wrong as well. Looked like they were hanging in it the first half, then North Carolina kind of exploded in the second half of that game.
For Heisman.
And then
Hendon Hooker.
Yeah. And then Michigan State over Michigan. I love the reaction to that, not being on the podcast. I love seeing that reaction from Eric and Connor. But, I thought they had a decent enough chance to win that game. Obviously it's a 5-pointer. It's, not a sure thing or anything. But, I was a little ambitious with that pick, and it bit me in the butt. I don't know if Michigan covered. I can't remember the final score in that. Like, early on, it was close. This was another night game I didn't watch because Tennessee was playing. But
wasn't it like 27-9 or something like that?
I think they actually missed covering by the half point because I think it was 22.5 and they won by 22. So I'm sure a lot of people in Vegas were unhappy with that one.
Yeah, but they were up 7-3. I saw early in that, so I was like, okay, I'm looking good with this one. I'm looking like a genius out here. But that one went as everybody expected it would, with Michigan winning. So hopefully I'm gonna rebound here on this next week. I will be picking it last, unfortunately. As bad as I was this week, guys, I'm still
yeah. Well, hey, your 22.5 favorite was closer than my 2.5 point underdog with Oklahoma State. So
yeah.
At least your team was winning for a little bit of the game.
Yeah,
and gave me hope. My team, it was like end of first quarter. I'm like, what's the score? 21-0. Well, okay, this is an L. Like,
stop the count.
Stop the count.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the reasons why it was hard for me to want you to get points this week, but I was like, well, at least the saving grace if Zach gets points is I won't be picking last. So because I would have been picking last had we all had 0. So so that being said, moving on this week. So Eric's got the first pick this week. I forgot to do what I usually do and hide that. So this is bigger. Oh, look at that.
Wow,
here we go. There's our picks real quick for everyone if you couldn't see them before because I was stupid and forgot to close that.
Way to go, Connor. Way to go, Connor.
I was like, why is this so small? I don't remember it being this small. But yeah, so Eric is picking first, I am picking second, and Zach is picking last. So with that being said, Eric, here's our massive list of spreads. We as a unit feel better about this week. I mentioned this last week that we all kind of hated this board that we had last week. This board's better, so we're feeling better. So hopefully we can get some green.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to say a lot better of a board, but better than last week's for sure. I agree. I'm going to do my usual tradition of writing my picks down. I've already known what I've wanted for a while.
I'm pretty sure I already know what you're going to pick.
I was alluding with Connor when we were playing some Madden recently that I was going to take this. Like, maybe if it was a 2-pointer, I wasn't going to take it, but it's a 5-pointer. I'm taking it. Give me my Tennessee Vols over the Georgia Bulldogs. I got my Rocky Top on there. I got Go Vols on there. I got the merch. I am ready to go for this game. I know Georgia is going to be a hard beat, but I was glad I had first pick because I wanted to get this game. I didn't want the rooting interest to happen because I know Connor or Zach would have taken this for sure. So, I'm not fully sure this will happen. Like I said, it's going to be hard. I kind of didn't like that Georgia got ranked number 3 in the CFP to start. I would have rather than been number 1. I think they have extra motivation, being lower ranked than us, but Tennessee is it's been like a wild ride this year, and hopefully it continues. So go Vols, baby.
Yeah, you and I were talking about this, and I remember you saying that you didn't want Zach to get it, and I told you that, well, don't worry, because if you don't pick it, then I'll pick it. So
yeah, I was like, I've got to take this number 1. I was like, there is a 0% chance it will fall to the second round. So Zach, just Zach, if I didn't take it, and if Connor didn't take it, were you going to take that?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Okay.
But
I can rest easy.
If I was like gone right now and I was making like my big board, like I wouldn't have even bothered putting it on there because I knew you were going to take it or Connor would take it.
Yeah.
You got no points Eric. You got no points last week, but that ensured that you got that pick. So
So it was that was my game plan all along. I knew OK State was going to lose by 48, but I wanted to get a 0. No, definitely not. That was definitely not my strategy. But at least, if there's any week where I was going to get the first pick, I'm glad this is it. So let's go Vols, baby.
It's pretty rare that we have like a consensus number 1 pick on this. So
if Tennessee wins, I might sing Rocky Top next week. Oh, no, I won't be here next week. I'll send an audio recording.
Okay.
So with that being said, I kind of figured that wasn't going to be there. So there's not a whole lot of these 5-pointers that I'm really enthralled with right now. So I'm going to go ahead and go start to the NFL with a 3-pointer, and I'm going to take the the Washington Commanders to beat the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota, like, they're 6-1 right now, but they've beaten a lot of bad teams. They had that win over the Packers, but that's looking worse as the weeks go on as well. And they got pretty thoroughly handled by the Eagles when they played them. So, and Washington, I don't know, like, they've been playing good recently. Taylor Heineke's been playing well. Terry McLaurin, still one of the most underrated wide receivers in the league. I don't know why people don't consider him to be like one of the best, but so I'm going to go ahead and take that one. I know that wasn't on y'all's board, so I didn't snipe anybody with that one.
No, but sometimes, you gotta get what you feel most confident with. So no shame in doing that.
Definitely not drafting 4 snipes, but they're nice if you get them.
Yeah. So I am going to go with a 3-point college play here. I'm going to take Oregon State to beat Washington on the road here. Oregon State, the first time they've been ranked in the college football playoff era. There's a lot of buzz, excitement. This is a team that's been down for so long. I think they have the type of team that can get upset wins. It's, not like Washington is all that mighty anyways. I think Oregon State's the better team. They got to go on the road, but that's not, a difficult trip for them to make. Just go up a state. So, I've got Oregon State with that big Pac-12 implication game for them.
Yeah, I like that pick. That would have been I probably would have taken that next round had you not taken it. So
I was looking at that. All
right, Eric.
All right, I have
You got the one sure thing out of the way. Now you actually have to think.
Yeah, I had to actually think now for the second pick. I don't think I didn't have an NFL game last week. I want to get back in there. There's one 3-pointer in the NFL that I like, and I'm going to grab that. That's going to be the Lions over the Packers. I know the Lions, like, record-wise, aren't good, but they've been close in a lot of these games. Green Bay, in my opinion, is just not that good. And Detroit, they've had some injuries on the offensive side of the ball, but they've been getting these guys back, and they're starting to get their offense going again. So I feel like the Lions have a good chance to get this, kind of like how the Jets beat the Packers in Lambeau a few weeks ago, and I got that. Like, I think the Lions can steal this here. I like their chances in this one. Connor does not agree.
I know Zach agrees because he picked the Lions.
Yeah, That was a snipe, Eric.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was there were like a few 2-pointers I was looking at, but I was like, I think Zach is going to take Lions Packers if I don't get it here. So I was like, let me go ahead and do that. I knew Connor wouldn't, but I was like, Zach might get it. So
I know the Lions have burned Connor, but like Eric said, I feel like, I mean, what have the Packers really done? They did nothing at the trade deadline. I feel like they're a hapless team right now. Like, there's no hope for Green Bay.
The reasons why I still think the Packers are going to win that is, one, they actually did look pretty decent against Buffalo on Sunday night, despite having to go up and play in Buffalo, and also just the fact that Aaron Rodgers, like, he's the team owner of the Detroit Lions, so you know.
Well, that is
the
true.
Bears and the Lions. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's owned them his whole life.
But yeah, so I'm up next here, and I'm gonna go to the 2-point range here. Like I said, I'm not really a big fan of most of the 5-pointers this week, so I'm gonna go ahead. I mentioned this at the start, but I gotta go ahead and take Kansas State over Texas. I don't know how in the world.
Yeah, that was the other one I was thinking about taking.
I was like, I don't know how Kansas State is not favored in that game, being at home. Like, Texas has been super overrated all year, so I'm pretty happy to get that one, even though it's only 2 points. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I like that pick as well.
Yeah. All right, so I'm also going to go to the 2 points, take a safer pick here, one that I feel pretty good about, and that's going to be Seattle to beat Arizona. Arizona just a 2-point favorite in that game. They are going to have to go on the road, Seattle is, but Geno Smith is playing really good football. All of the rookies are contributing for Seattle. They're actually a good team. When you watch them, they're a good team. I don't think Arizona is playing that great. I know they got that Thursday night win. They have an extra few days of rest from that and all, but still, I think Seattle gets the job done there.
Yeah, Zach knows I like that pick because that's like the one downside of making our weekly picks is we know which NFL upsets we all like before this happens. So
yeah.
I was between that one and the KSU one for my second pick, so I like it.
Yeah, I was looking at that. My only downside on that one is the Cardinals didn't have DeAndre Hopkins the first time they played, but now they do, and so I think that's going to help the Cardinals. Even though they've been losing, but their offense has been good lately.
I thought you were going to say something about them being at home, but actually they are terrible at home. They're a better team on the road. It's weird. It's one of those weird things. They have like one of the
They're not like the Broncos in September.
Yeah. They're not like the Broncos in September, that's for sure.
All right, Eric. Where are we going with the first pick of round 3 here?
All right. This one's going to be a hard game, I think, but I like the way this team's playing right now. I'm going to go for a 3-pointer in the NBA. I'm going to take the Raptors over the Mavericks for a 3-pointer. Dallas is playing pretty well also right now, but they lost a couple games that they really should have won. Toronto, their last 2 games they played, have just absolutely obliterated their opponents. They put up like 140 something and 139, I think. So I'm hoping the Raptors will keep that momentum going for me and steal one against Dallas there.
Yeah, definitely an interesting pick there. So with my next pick, there's not any more of the 3-pointers that are really exciting me. I'm not going to make this mistake of taking Notre Dame because every time I pick against Clemson, they win. So I'm not making that mistake. But I am actually going to go to the 5-pointers with this one because I want to get at least one. And it's going to be a game that, of course, I'm going to be rooting really hard for this to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and take the LSU Tigers to beat Alabama at home. I'm not sure if it's going to happen, but I'm going to be rooting really hard for it to happen. And LSU is one of the toughest teams in the nation at home. And, of course, they really want to beat Alabama. So go Tigers.
Yeah, normally the rooting interest thing only happens like when it's someone picking your own team, but that is one where I will be joining Connor and rooting for that to happen. So.
Got to keep Alabama out of the SEC title game.
Oh yeah, please.
Yeah, I'd much rather play. Yeah, let's play LSU again. We beat them.
Yeah, we beat them way better than we beat Alabama. So
play LSU or play Ole Miss. Whichever one of them makes it.
Yeah. So I agree with Connor. the 3-pointers, the 2-pointers right now, there's nothing standing out obvious to me. So I'm going to take a gamble, go to the 5-point territory. I will take the Tennessee Titans to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Titans have like a 4-game win streak or something like that right now. They've been playing really well. We'll see if Ryan Tannehill's back, but something about the Titans and the Chiefs when they play, the Titans tend to upset them. So we'll see if that happens again. But I like the Titans. I think that's got a possibility of hitting. So
I'll be honest, I was not considering that whatsoever. I mean, it's just like I think it's just because of I agree with you that like the Titans tend to give KC a pretty good game. Like Derrick Henry tends to play well, but I think it's just the fact that like I think Malik Willis is going to end up starting at quarterback again, and I think that's really bad for the Titans. And I know like I was watching a video where they're talking about how like their defense has pretty good numbers, but their defensive numbers have been inflated because of like the games they've played against like Indianapolis and Houston. So we'll see.
Yep.
Go Chiefs. All I'm gonna say. Yeah, this one, not only do I hope Zach doesn't get it right, I got even double reason to hope he doesn't get that one right now. So
let's go both Tennessee teams to win this week. Hey, there we go.
Just the college one. Just the college one. All right. Well, my last pick. This is a pick I probably shouldn't make, but I'm doing it anyway. It's in teal. Jags over the Raiders for the 2-pointer with Connor's favorite hashtag on there, the Duval chant.
Getting banned from the next LockBoard for that.
Well, I'm not going to be here anyway, so that's good. That was a good timing for that.
I'm saying you can't make picks at all. You can't even put them in.
Well, no, that would be bad. I thought you were saying I couldn't be in the episode. I'm like, I'll take that suspension anyway. But I mean, the only reason why the only reason why I do think this game has a chance to happen, I mean, the Jags are at home, so the Raiders have to travel all the way across the country, and the Raiders had a really embarrassing loss last week, like putting up 0 on the Saints. I don't know what happened there. I didn't get to watch any of that game, but so if the Jaguars can even remotely contain Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs, like I'm hoping maybe we can get that win. And this is now going to be my 5th time picking my Jags, baby. Let's go.
Crazy.
We're underdogs again.
Maybe that's good for him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, they seem to be getting a little too big for their britches when they were favored. So. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and also go into the 2-point range here. Not wanting to get too crazy. I was slightly considering taking the Panthers again over the Bengals as like another 5-pointer, but I'm not going to do that. I'll play it more safe. I'm going to go with an NBA 2-pointer, and I'm going to go ahead and take the Washington Wizards to beat the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets, there is all sorts of turmoil and craziness going on there right now with Steve Nash getting fired and Kyrie Irving having to like make some big apology for the anti-Semitic comments he made, and they've got Bum Simmons, so
I'll talking about, dude? Ben Simmons is like one of the best passers in the game. And he defends. He grabs rebounds.
At the same time as he airballs layups.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Yeah, I thought about that one. Just the Wizards haven't been playing super great either. That was what deterred me from that. But with all the drama going on in Brooklyn, I can see that hitting. So we'll see what happens with that one.
All right, Zach, where's the final pick coming from?
Yep, so I will close things out also with an NBA game. I am going to go 3 points. I'm going to take the T-Wolves to beat the Bucks.
The undefeated Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, it's not the only, or I guess, Wisconsin, Minnesota, those states have big rivalries. But, the Bucks haven't lost a game yet. I feel like that's one of those things that's going to come to an end pretty soon. I'm trying to predict that now. The T-Wolves can score. They have their offense is tremendous. Rudy Gobert's played pretty well for them from what I've watched. And, I think the Bucks are just going to kind of, they've already had a tremendous start to the year, 7-0. they're not. I don't think their hearts are going to be fully in it. I know it's stupid to say that, but like, 7 but like, hey, maybe
don't say that to my client's face.
I was about to say, Connor, is Zach suspended also for betting against your client?
No, see, that's not as egregious. He's done it before, so I'm used to it. It's not as, and
I've done the Duval chant before. Like,
that's just more egregious. Though. Like, that's I have a particular disdain for that. Like, you can pick against Giannis. Like, as much as I don't like it, it's not going to happen. But
we'll see about that. Flip that.
Connor, I'm giving Giannis a call and saying that I'm going to be like, Giannis, your agent is more mad at me for chanting Duval versus his cousin for betting against you. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, this. Not letting this slide.
I'm about to have a dramatic decrease in my income here in the next couple of days.
Yeah, your salary gets docked by 20%.
All right, well, these are our picks. Eric, you had the first pick, so let's go over what you picked.
Yeah, my first pick in my one college football game, I've got my Tennessee Vols upsetting the Georgia Bulldogs. Really hope that happens. Another thing about Tennessee and Georgia, too, is Tennessee's dog is way cooler. I don't care what people say about Bulldogs are ugly. Tennessee's Smoky Dog is way better.
Bulldogs are not ugly.
They are. Lions
everywhere.
Yeah, dude. I don't get it. Anyway, I've got then moving into the NFL, I've got 2 3-pointers with my next 2 picks. I've got the Detroit Lions upsetting the Green Bay Packers. And in the NBA, I've got the Toronto Raptors upsetting the Dallas Mavericks. And then my conservative 2-pointer pick, I've got my Duval Jacksonville Jaguars defeating the Raiders at home. So make it happen, boys. I got 2 of my favorite teams. Y'all need to win for me here.
Yeah, and also,
Connor,
like I said, Eric,
before you suspend me.
Eric's getting automatic 0 next week. So, but yeah, so my picks, I just realized I've made a horrible mistake. I've gone and done the same thing.
Oh yeah,
Washington teams. That's going to be a
I love it.
I've gone and done the thing I said I shouldn't have done. I've taken both Washington, D.C. teams.
That's crazy.
Although, to be fair, the Commanders play in Landover, Maryland, so maybe that'll help me get out of this somehow.
Still Washington.
Well, no, it's not. But
the names.
So I've got the Commanders over the Vikings for a 3-pointer in the NFL. The other Washington team, the Wizards, over the Nets for a 2-pointer in basketball. Then I've got 2 college picks, 1 2-pointer, the Kansas State Wildcats over the Texas Longhorns at home. Got to keep up someone picking a Big 12 game on the LockBoard on this show. And finally, closing it out with the LSU Tigers hopefully beating the Alabama Crimson Tide in a 5-pointer down there in Death Valley. Go Tigers.
That's the one game you're allowed to get right.
All right, so I've got Oregon State beating Washington as a 3-pointer in college football. Like I talked about that, really feeling good about that pick. Seattle over Arizona as well. And then rounds 3 and 4, a bit more risky with my picks. As I'm picking the Titans to beat the Chiefs and the T-Wolves to beat the Milwaukee Bucks. So hopefully, those, superstars, Mahomes and Greek Freak, hopefully they take some L's this weekend.
Heyo. Look who we got here.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap it up for the LockBoard. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you comment down below if you agree, disagree with our picks, if you think my cat's cute, all that good stuff. Make sure you stay tuned next week on next Wednesday. Got another episode of the podcast, and next Friday for another episode of the LockBoard. And Zach, I'll let you close it out.
Yep. As always, guys, remember, be clutch.
Bye.
Peace.